Jai. Om Sripad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki Jai.
Bandeyam Shri Guru Shiyatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vitamscha Om Jnana Timrandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshuram milidam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasthaveda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindabhidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyad Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavaranam Balar Kachelan Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So yesterday, we heard how Mahaprabhu met with Rupa and Sanatan at Ramakeli. And after that, he only went as far as Kanainata Shala because too many people were following him. And he decided not to go to Vrindavan with a huge crowd. So he turned back, went first to Shantipur, where he again met with the devotees, and went to Mathura. Then after a few days, then Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan, and this time he went through Jharikanda forest, came to Prayag, instructed Srila Rupa Goswami, and then he went to Varanasi, and there he met with Sri Sanatan Goswami, and the Lord instructed Sanatan Goswami. So I'll start there. Kashite Prabhukeyashi Milila Sanatana Duimasha Rohitare Korela Shikan. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Varanasi, Sanatan Goswami met him there. The Lord remained there for 2 months and instructed Sanatan Goswami perfectly. Mathura patailatare diya bhakti bal shunya sire kripa kori gila nilachav. Oh, this is after Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. And after he went to Vrindavan, then he went to Prayag, and then he went to Varanasi. So after further fully instructing Sanatan Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent him to Mathura with empowered devotional service. In Benares, he also bestowed his mercy upon the Mayavadi sannyasis. He then returned to Nilachala, Jagannath Puri. Chaya Batsara Aiche Prabhu Korela Bilas Kabu Iti Uti Kabu Ketrabas. The Lord traveled all over India for 6 years. He was sometimes here and sometimes there, performing his transcendental pastimes, and sometimes he remained at Jagannath Puri. So this is the Madhya-lila period, 6 years. Anande Bhakta Sanghe Sada Kirtana Bilas, Jagannath Darshana Primera Bilas. While Jagannath Puri, the Lord passed his time in great joy by performing Sankirtan and visiting the temple of Jagannath in great ecstasy. Madhya-lila koilune sutra vivaran, Antya-lila sutra ebe shuna bhaktagan. Thus I have given a synopsis of the Madhya-lila, the middle pastimes of the Lord. Now, O devotees, kindly hear the synopsis of the final pastimes of the Lord, known as the Antya-lila. Vrindavana hoite jadi nila chali aila, atara barsha tahan bash, kahan nahi gela. When the Lord returned to Jagannath Puri from Vrindavan, he remained there and did not go anywhere else for 18 years. Pratibarsha Aishanatahan Godera Bhaktagan Sharimas Rohip Prabhur Sange Samilan. During those 18 years, all the devotees of Bengal used to visit him at Jagannath Puri every year. They would remain there for 4 continuous months and enjoy the company of the Lord. Nirantara Nitya Gita Kirtana Bilas Achandali Prema Bhakti Korila Prakash. At Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed chanting and dancing unceasingly. Thus he enjoyed the pastime of Sankirtan. He manifested his causeless mercy, pure love of God, to everyone, including the lowest man. Pandita Pandit Gosai Koila Nila Chale Bas Bakreshwara Damodar Shankara Haridas. Residing with the Lord at Jagannath Puri were Pandita Gosai and other devotees such as Vakeshwara, Damodar, Shankar, and Haridas. And Pandit Gosai refers to Gadadhar Pandit. So residing with the Lord at Jagannath Puri were Gadadhar Pandit and other devotees such as Vakeshwara, Damodar, Shankar, and Haridas Thakur. And this Damodar refers to Damodar Pandit, I believe. Let's see. Yes, Damodar Pandit. Jaganananda Bhagavan, Govinda Kashishwar, Paramananda Puriyar, Swarup Damodar. Jaganananda Bhagavan, Govinda Kashishwar, Paramananda Puri, and Swarup Damodar were other devotees who also live with the Lord. So Jaganananda, Bhagavan Acharya, Govinda, Mahaprabhu's personal servant, Kashishwar. Govinda and Kashishwar were sent by Ishwara Puri to assist Mahaprabhu. Govinda was Mahaprabhu's personal servant, and Kashishwar would always go in front of Mahaprabhu when he went to the temple of Jagannath, and Kashishwar would keep the crowds from pressing too much on Mahaprabhu. Then Paramananda Puri and Swarup Damodar were other devotees who also live with the Lord. Ketrabashi Ramananda Rai Prabhriti Prabhu Sangi Esab Koila Nitya Stiti. Srila Ramananda Roy and other devotees who were residents of Jagannath Puri also remained permanently with the Lord. So they're called Ketrabasis, or sometimes it may be referred to as Dambasis, Ketrabasis, persons who because Jagannath Puri is Dham, and Ketrabasi means someone who always resides in Jagannath Puri. You can leave it for a minute. And Advaita Nityananda Makunda Srivas Vidyanidhi Vasudeva Murari Jatadas Prativarshe Aishe Sange Rahicharimas Tasava Loya Prabhur Vibhida Bilas. Other devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Advaitacharya Nityananda Prabhu, Makunda, Srivas, Vidyanidhi, Vasudeva, and Murari, used to visit Jagannath Puri and remain with the Lord for 4 continuous months. The Lord enjoyed various pastimes in their company. Haridaser Siddhi Prapti Adbhuta Sesab Apani Mahaprabhu Jara Koila Mahotsav. At Jagannath Puri, Haridas Thakur passed away. The incident was very wonderful because the Lord himself performed the festival of Thakur Haridas's departure. So that festival comes up within, I believe, 2 weeks. So we'll be observing that after Radhastami. There's Tabe Rup Gosar Punar Agaman Tahara Hridaye Koila Prabhu Shakti Sancharan. At Jagannath Puri, Srila Rupa Goswami met the Lord again, and the Lord invested his heart with all transcendental power. So the Lord invested Rupa Goswami with also the power to not only write scripture, but we're known as Rupa Nugas, and the Lord empowered Rupa Goswami as his leader, you could say, as a person who would lead the devotees. Chabe Chota Haridase Prabhu Koila Danda, Damodar Pandit Koila Prabhu Ke Bhakya Danda. After this, the Lord punished Junior Haridas, or Chota Haridas, and Damodar Pandit gave some warning to the Lord. Actually, Damodar Pandit was the eternal servant of the Lord. He could not punish the Lord at any time, nor had he any desire to do so. But he did give some warning to the Lord so that others would not blaspheme him. Of course, he should have known that the Lord is the supreme personality of God and is free to act in any way. There is no need to warn him, and such an action is not very much appreciated by advanced devotees. So that's the commentary. Actually, what happened is that Damodar Pandit there's a nice description about Damodar Pandit, that he was very strict about trying to watch over the Lord and in this way protect him. And he cautioned the Lord so many times about activities that weren't even important to Damodar Pandit himself as far as his own dealings. But he wanted the Lord to he cautioned the Lord. For instance, the one incident that stands out is that there was one very young boy or young devotee who was coming to see Mahaprabhu, and Damodar Pandit didn't like that person to come to see Mahaprabhu. And finally, he became upset, and he scolded the Lord, and he told him, the Lord asked him what was the matter with him, and he says, well, he said, this boy's mother is a widow, and she's a very good devotee, but she only has one fault, that she's very young and she's very beautiful. So he told Mahaprabhu, if you show so much favor to this boy, then people will think that you're interested in his mother. So it was really not a very, but the thing is that Mahaprabhu actually appreciated that from Damodar Pandit. He appreciated that Damodar Pandit had so much affection for him that he would get angry about something that was actually inconsequential, you could say. And as I said, Damodar Pandit was strict in wanting to establish some standards for the Lord that he himself wasn't even interested in for his own personal self. So Mahaprabhu was actually very pleased with that. But what did Mahaprabhu do? He sent Damodar Pandit to Navadip. They were in Jagannath Puri. He sent Damodar Pandit to Navadip because Mahaprabhu said, there is my mother and she's by herself and I'm worried about her sometimes, and you are very strict, so you can go there and see that the devotees, that everything they do is proper, and you'll watch over my mother. So that Damodar Pandit sometimes would go there to Navadip, and then sometimes he would come back to Jagannath Puri. But here it describes, and elsewhere also, it describes that Damodar Pandit really didn't have any business in cautioning the Lord. But at the same time, Mahaprabhu appreciated it. And one thing also Mahaprabhu said to Damodar Pandit, he said, your younger brother Shankar, he has a very deep relationship with me. And And actually, in Mahaprabhu's later days, we'll hear Mahaprabhu would rub his face against the wall in separation from the Lord. Sometimes he would have bruises on his face out of this separation ecstasy. And the devotees were worried about Mahaprabhu, so they put Damodar Pandit's brother, Shankar Pandit, they put him in the room to watch over Mahaprabhu. And that Damodar Pandit would stay awake, watch over Mahaprabhu, but then sometimes he himself would fall asleep. And then sometimes Mahaprabhu would cover him with his quilt, and sometimes Mahaprabhu would fall asleep, and he'd have his feet, he'd rest with either his head or his feet on Damodar Pandit. So, Shankar Pandit, Damodar Pandit's brother, and that Shankar Pandit received the name of the pillow of the Lord, the pillow of Mahaprabhu. So, anyway, that's Damodar Pandit. Tabe Sanatana Gosar Punar Agaman Jaishta Mashe Prabhutare Koila Parikan. Thereafter, Sanatana Goswami met the Lord again, and the Lord tested him in scorching heat during the month of Jaishta. It says, Koila Parikan. It's a test, you can translate it as test, but you can also say, like we know the word Parikan from Parikshit Maharaj. It means observe or see, Parikshit Maharaj had that name, Parikshit. One of the reasons was in the womb of his mother, Uttara, the Ashwatthama, he sent a Brahmastra weapon to kill all the descendants of the Pandavas, and that weapon came to kill Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. But Krishna entered into the womb and destroyed the weapon. But then Parikshit Maharaj, when he's in the womb, he saw Krishna, who came there to save him. And after that, after he was born, his interesting, because his name is Parikshit, he's always looking at all persons. He wants to see Krishna again. Anyway, something like that. So this is, Sanatan Goswami was called by the Lord, and to get there, Sanatan Goswami, he walked across, it was the heat of summer, and in Puri, when it's summer, the heat is intense. And he walked across the sand of the beach to get to Mahaprabhu. And by walking across that sand, he got blisters on his feet. And I know about these kind of things because when they make puff rice, they cook it in sand. Of course, there's a fire underneath it. But that's what the hot heat of the sand will do to your feet. It'll cook them. So he got blisters all over his feet from walking across that sand. And then Mahaprabhu asked him, why did you come this way? Why didn't you come by the path going by the Jagannath temple? There, the road's not so hot. And Sanatan Goswami says, no, because he was a fallen person, and he said the pujaris of Jagannath Puri temple are always coming and going, and I'm afraid that they may touch me or bump against me when they're coming and going, and that would ruin everything, because that would make them not clean. So he said that for that reason he went by the beach to not come in contact with any of the servants of Jagannath. So you could say it was a test, but Mahaprabhu just saw that this Sanatan Goswami, how strict he is in his own dealings. Thereafter, Sanatan Goswami met the Lord again. The Lord tested him in scorching heat during the month of Jaishta. Tushtahoya Prabhutari Pataila Brindavan Advaitera Haste Prabhur Adbhuta Bhujan. Being pleased, the Lord sent Sanatan Goswami back to Vrindavan. After that, he was fed wonderfully by the hands of Sri Advaitacharya. Nityananda Sange Jukti Korea Nibrite Tare Pataila Gode Prema Pracharite. After sending Sanatan Goswami back to Vrindavan, the Lord privately consulted with Sri Nityananda Prabhu. He then sent him to Bengal to preach love of Godhead. And Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu, you please go to Bengal. I'm here in Puri, so who will protect Bengal? Who will preach in Bengal? And he sent Nityananda Prabhu there. But there's also a reason that we've heard from Srila Govinda Maharaj and others. Well, it's there in also there's an inner reason. That is, even in the West, you can see, like for instance, say you're in Latin America. What do? Sometimes when, at least in the older days, when a man would go out with a woman, sometimes the woman's elder brother would go as a chaperone. That was pretty common. That the elder brother of the girl would go as a chaperone. And that, obviously, nothing's going to happen. So, actually, who is Nityananda Prabhu? He's Balaram. And Mahaprabhu, he's feeling the mood of Radharani's separation from Krishna. And that mood is Madhurya Ras. And Balaram and Nityananda is Balaram, and his predominant mood is that of Sakya Ras, of friendship. And Sakya Ras and Madhurya Ras, in some ways, they're not so compatible. Nityananda Prabhu, because it's a matter of rasa, it's a deep concern, a deep consideration. He sent Nityananda Prabhu to Bengal, also for the practical purpose of preaching. And even we know to this day in Bengal, actually Nityananda Prabhu in many places is more famous in Bengal than Mahaprabhu himself. So after sending Sanatan Goswami back to Vrindavan, the Lord privately consulted with Sri Nityananda Prabhu. He then sent him to Bengal to preach love of Godhead. Tabita Balabhabata Prabhure Milila Krishna Namer Arta Prabhu Tahare Kohila. Soon afterward, Vallabhabhata met the Lord at Jagannath Puri, and the Lord explained to him the import of the holy name of Krishna. So Vallabhabhata is the head of the Vaishnava Sampradaya, known as the Vallabha Acharya, Sampradaya in Western India. There is a long story about Vallabhacharya narrated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, specifically in the 7th chapter of the Madhya-lila and the 19th chapter of the Madhya-lila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the house of Vallabhacharya on the other side of Prayag in a place known as Adailagram. Later, Vallabhabhata saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri to explain his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. He was very proud of his writings, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu corrected him, telling that a Vaishnava should be humble and follow in the footsteps of his predecessors. The Lord told him that his pride in being superior to Sridhar Swami was not at all befitting a Vaishnava. So, Vallabhacharya it's interesting because in the Madhya-lila, when Mahaprabhu visits Prayag and instructs Rupa Goswami, at that time Vallabhacharya is there near Prayag, and he takes Mahaprabhu to his house to visit. And Vallabhacharya is the head of sampradaya, of another sampradaya. And he's very famous. But he's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And even in the Madhya-lila, you can see that he's a devotee who's very learned, very reverential, very correct. But he's not on the level of the mood of the intimate followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's very formal. And at that time, he sees Srila Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami and his brother Sri Vallabha or Anupama, they won't go so near to Vallabhacharya. And when Vallabhacharya approaches them, they retreat a little, and Rupa Goswami says, "Please don't touch me. I'm very fallen." And then Mahaprabhu tests Vallabhacharya, and Vallabhacharya says, "Who is he?" And then Mahaprabhu tells him, tells him who he is, and he says, "It's better if you don't go near him. He's very fallen." Mahaprabhu says that as a test, but Vallabhacharya he's intelligent. He says, "How can you say he's fallen when all I hear is constantly chanting the holy name?" And he's a very exalted person, so he knows that. And he's a learned person. But it's still, Mahaprabhu at his house also meets with Raghupati Upadhyaya, and they have a very deep conversation. And Vallabhacharya is more a listener than a participant. Then later he comes to Puri, and he meets with Mahaprabhu, and he wants Mahaprabhu to hear his commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he says, "I've written a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam that is better than the ancient commentary of Sridhar Swami," this was something that Mahaprabhu was very annoyed in hearing, because Mahaprabhu said, "Everybody accepts Sridhar Swami's commentary, and you say you've written a commentary better than his," which shows a lot of pride. And then Mahaprabhu said, the word Swami in Bengali means not only a sannyasi, but a woman calls her husband Swami. Many times in Bengal, a woman will call her husband Swami. Well, it's like my husband, my Lord. And Mahaprabhu, using that meaning of the word Swami, he says to Vallabhacharya, he says, "A woman who is not chaste or true to her Swami or to her husband is no better than a prostitute." And he says that because Vallabhacharya said he wrote a commentary better than that of Sridhar Swami. And then Mahaprabhu says, "A woman who's not chaste to her Swami or to her husband is no better than a prostitute." So he's telling him, don't say that. Don't tell me you've written a commentary better than our acharyas. And then Vallabhabhata was he's feeling very despondent. And then he tries to ingratiate himself with Mahaprabhu, and everything he tries comes out wrong. Because he does it. And he says, I've written a commentary on the holy names, on the Lord's holy names, which are unlimited. He says, I've written a commentary on the Lord's holy names. And Mahaprabhu says, I only know two names of Krishna. One is Yashodanandana, and the other is, Yashodanandana, and the other is Shyamasundar. These are the only two names I know of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu is like saying, I don't want to hear your commentary. But the Lord was kind to him, but he didn't like Vallabhacharya's pride. But finally, Vallabhacharya surrendered to Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu told him, told him, you're a very great devotee. You're actually a Mahabhagavata, but it's not good to see this. Mahaprabhu cautioned it's not good to see this kind of arrogance. And finally Mahaprabhu accepted him, and it is mentioned that he got her mantra, I guess Gayatri, something from Gadadhar Pandit. So these are things that are very, they're a little sensitive, because you see that Vallabhacharya, he's head of a sampradaya. But Mahaprabhu actually corrected him. So people in his sampradaya don't like to hear that so much. But I'm very sorry. Pradyumna Mishrare Prabhu Ramanandastane Krishna Kata Snailaka Tara Gune. After explaining the transcendental qualities of Ramananda Roy, the Lord sent Pradyumna Mishra to his residence, and Pradyumna Mishra learned Krishna Katha from him. Pradyumna Mishra wanted to hear about Krishna-lila from Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu said, actually, I don't know Krishna-lila. It's better if you go to hear from Ramananda Roy. He instructed me at the Godavari in South India, that's a whole chapter, very interesting, called Ramananda Sambad. And that conversation begins by saying that Mahaprabhu is the ocean of all Siddhanta conclusion, and Ramananda Roy is like a cloud. And the cloud, by evaporation, the cloud forms, and then after the cloud is full with water, it pours back rain or water back on the ocean. But Mahaprabhu is the ocean, Ramananda Roy is compared to the cloud. But Mahaprabhu would ask questions to Ramananda Roy, and Ramananda Roy gave the answers. So elsewhere, when Mahaprabhu met with Rupa Sanatan later, he said, whatever I'm telling you is what I heard from Ramananda Roy. So that's Mahaprabhu's humility. But actually here it says, this Pradyumna Mishra, he wanted to hear Krishna Katha from Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, no, better you hear from Ramananda Roy. So then he went to Ramananda Roy's house, and he was a little shocked. Ramananda Roy is a householder, and Ramananda Roy is teaching, had written a play called Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, and for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath. And for that play, there were like two what do they call them? Devi Dasis, two very young ladies, beautiful young women, and Ramananda Roy would instruct them and touch them and everything like that. So Pradyumna Mishra was very shocked seeing this. As he's a strict Brahmin, here's Ramananda Roy, we could say intimately involved in instructing these women. So he came back, and Mahaprabhu said, did you hear from him? And he said, no, he was busy. And then he told him what was going on, that Ramananda Roy is dressing and engaging these young women. And you could see he was a little shocked. Ramananda Roy said, I'm a sannyasi, and I'm affected by even seeing the form of a woman. Mahaprabhu said, I am a sannyasi, and I'm affected by even seeing the form of a woman, but not Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy is in his spiritual identity. Is actually Ramananda Roy is, in the spiritual terms, is Vishaka Devi. He's in his spiritual identity, he's actually one of the intimate servitors of Srimati Radharani. And he cannot be affected in any way, So then Mahaprabhu said, go back and hear from him the next day. Pradyumna Mishra went back earlier, and then Ramananda Roy said, "Oh, you've come back. Please forgive me. I was very busy yesterday. I couldn't attend to you properly. What is it you want to hear? What is it? Why you've come?" And he says, because the day before when Ramananda Roy said, "Why have you come?" He said, "No, I just came to meet you. I just came to meet you. I offered my dandavats," and then he left. And then he came back the next day, and Ramananda Roy said, what can I do to serve you?" And he said, "Mahaprabhu sent me here to hear Krishna Katha." And then Ramananda Roy was very overwhelmed, and he said, "What kind of Krishna Katha? What would you like to hear?" And then he says, "No, I'd be satisfied just hearing what you spoke to Mahaprabhu at the Godavari in South India." And then Ramananda Roy spoke through the whole day, and they had these discussions. And when he was done, Pradyumna Mishra was in ecstasy from hearing and all that. And then he went back to Mahaprabhu, and he told him, "Gopinath Patanayaka Ramananda Brata Raja Mari Tej Shila Prabhu Koila Trata Gopinath Pratanayaka Ramananda Brata Raja Marti Tej Shila Prabhu Koila Trata." After this, Mahaprabhu saved Gopinath Patanayaka, the younger brother of Ramananda Roy, from being condemned to death by the king. So that's another story. In Gopinath Patanayaka, he's like a tax collector for the king. But he's not always careful in his revenue. So he fell a little behind in what he owed to the king. But he also dealt in horses. He would buy horses. So he owed money to the king, and the king asked for his money, and Gopinath Patanayaka said, "Just give me a little time, I'll pay you. But in the meantime, I have these horses, and you can take them as part of the payment." So the king agreed, and he sent the prince, who was the son of the king, he sent him to evaluate the horses. That prince, who was expert in horses, deliberately under-evaluated the horses, tried to cheat. So but that prince, he had this idiosyncrasy. He would always talk. While he was talking, he would look to the sky, and then he'd move his head back and forth like that while he was talking. It was an idiosyncrasy that prince had. And when he gave that under-evaluation, then Gopinath Patanayaka said, "Why have you under-evaluated my horses?" He said, "They don't always turn their head upward and look at the sky like the prince did." The prince was furious, and he told the king, he won't pay, and actually we got to scare him, so we'll put him on the chunga. The chunga is like where people were condemned to death. It's a platform, and then there's raised spears and swords below, and the person's pushed onto them. So not a very pleasant thing. He says, I put him on the chunga, then I'll scare him, and he'll, And then the king said, "Whatever, I just collect the debt." So that's the way kings are. But they put Gopinath Patanayaka, they put him up on the chunga, and then everybody who's attached to Ramananda Roy and Bhavananda Roy, Ramananda Roy's father and his brothers, they're all disturbed, and they're all, running to Mahaprabhu, "You have to save him," and everything like this. And then Mahaprabhu says, "Look, why are you disturbing me? I'm a sannyasi. Why do I want to hear about all these worldly affairs?" Mahaprabhu would save him, but not directly participating. Then eventually the story goes on. He's of course saved and everything, but Mahaprabhu doesn't want to be bothered with worldly affairs going on. And Mahaprabhu says, well, if he owes the king money, Mahaprabhu says, why does he spend money on watching on seeing dancing girls? Gopinath Pattanayaka was not spending money on dancing girls. He was a very good devotee, but, something happened. And anyway, it's a story which will be explained later in the Madhya-lila. Ramachandra Puri Bhai Bhikka Gataila Vaishnavare Dukkha Deki Ardeka Rakila. Ramachandra Puri criticized Mahaprabhu's eating. Therefore, the Lord reduced his eating to a minimum. However, when all the Vaishnavas became very sorry, the Lord increased his portion to half as much as usual. He really cut down his portion because of this Ramachandra Puri. He's just a big criticizer. He's always criticizing everybody. And Mahaprabhu ate very little, but Ramachandra Puri criticized all the devotees. He just looked for fault. He's a nindika, a fault finder. One time he enters in Mahaprabhu's room and he sees ants walking on the floor. It's not unusual to find ants walking someplace. But he says, why are there ants on the floor? Because this sannyasi secretly eats sweets, and that's what brings these ants here. So Mahaprabhu just almost cut his eating to nothing in the presence of Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri is the godbrother of Mahaprabhu's spiritual master, Ishwara Puri. That's why he superficially gave some importance to him. But everyone was very happy when Ramachandra Puri would leave town. They were very happy. Just so annoying a person. Brahmananda Bhitare Hoy Choda Bhuvan Choda Bhuvane Baishe Jata Jiva Gan. There are 14 planetary systems within the universe, and all living entities reside in those planetary systems. Manushyara Beshadori Chatrika Chale Prabhura Darshana Kori Ashinila Chale, dressing like human beings on pilgrimage. They used to come to Jagannath Puri to visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they're saying that people from other worlds would come and visit Mahaprabhu. In Vedic terminology, there are different planets in the solar system, and they have different. So these persons, demigods and persons from other planets, would come dressed as human beings to visit Mahaprabhu. Ekdin Srivasadi Jadabhaktagan Mahaprabhu Guna Gana Korana Kirtan. One day the devotees, headed by Srivas Thakur, were chanting the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shuni Bhakta Gane Gohe Sakroda Bachane Krishnanam Guna Chadi Ki Kora Kirtane. Not liking the chanting of his own qualities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised them as if he were angry. What kind of chanting is this? He asked. Are you leaving aside the chanting of the holy name of the Lord? Odatya korite koila sabakaraman swatantra hoya sabe nashabe bhuvan. Thus Mahaprabhu chastised all the devotees, telling them not to show impudence and spoil the entire world by becoming independent. Well, the reason for this is Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, but he doesn't like to be addressed as such, and he wants to show himself as a devotee, not as the Lord himself. He wants to show himself as a servant of the Lord, as an ordinary person. And when persons would glorify Mahaprabhu, he would cover his ears. He didn't like to hear that. So, Dashadike Koti Koti Loka Henakale Jaya Krishna Chaitanya Bole Kore Kolahale. When Mahaprabhu was apparently in an angry mood and chastising his devotees, many thousands of people outside loudly cried in a tumultuous voice, "All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Brajendra Kumar Jagat Korite Prabhu Tomaravatar. All the devotees began to call very loudly, "All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda. Now you have appeared in order to deliver the whole world." So Mahaprabhu is chastising his own devotees for addressing him as the Supreme Lord. And in the meantime, many, many pilgrims come, and they're all crying out, all glories to Mahaprabhu, all glories to Mahaprabhu, the son of Maharaj Nanda, Brajendra Kumar. Brajendra Kumar is Krishna. They're saying all glories to Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. So then, and there people continue, Bahu Dura Hoite, Ainu Hoya, Bora Arta, Darshana Diya Prabhu, Koraha, Kritarta. O Lord, we are very unhappy. We have come a long distance to you. Please be merciful and show us your favor. Please give us darshan. Shunya Lokera Doinya Dravila Ridoy Bahire Ashi Darshan Dila Doyamoy. When the Lord heard the humble petition made by the people, his heart softened. Being very merciful, he immediately came out and gave darshan to all of them. Bahutuli Bole Prabhu Bo Hari Hari Utila Shri Hari Dwani Chaturdik Bari. Raising his arms, the Lord asked everyone to chant loudly the vibration of the holy name of Lord Hari. There immediately arose a great stir, and the vibration of Hari filled all directions. Prabhu deke preme lok anandita man, Prabhu ke ishwara bole koreyesh stavan. Seeing the Lord, everyone became joyful out of love. Everyone accepted the Lord as the supreme, and thus they offered their prayers. Stava shuni Prabhu ke kohana srinivas, gare gupta hao kene bahire prakash. When the people were offering their prayers unto the Lord, Srivas Thakur sarcastically said to the Lord, at home you wanted to be covered. Why have you exposed yourself outside? So it's the opposite of Dur. He's with his own devotees inside, and they're glorifying Mahaprabhu, and he stops him, and he's very angry. And he says, why have you given up chanting Hare Krishna? Why are you just glorifying me? What is this? Because he's showing the mood of a devotee, not of the Lord himself. He wants to show himself he shows himself as an ordinary person. But then outside, many, many, many pilgrims come, and they're all glorifying Mahaprabhu as Krishna. Please come out and show us your darshan. And Mahaprabhu's heart softened by so many people who are calling out to him, and he goes outside to give him his darshan. And then Srivas Thakur says, at home you wanted to be covered. Why have you exposed yourself outside? Keshikale loke kohikombata ta iha sabar mukha daka diya nijihata. Srivas Thakur continued, who has taught these people? What are they saying? Now you can cover their mouths with your own hand. Surya jai che udaya kore chahe lukaite but bujitena paritaiche tomara charite. It's as if the sun, after rising, wanted to hide itself. We cannot understand such characteristics in your behavior. Prabhu Kohan Srinivas Chara Vidamban Sabimeli Korama Mora Katika Lanchana Prabhu Kohan Srinivas Chara Vidambana Sabimeli Koramora Katika Lanchana. The Lord replied, my dear Srinivas, please stop joking. You have all combined together to humiliate me in this way. Itabole loke kore shubha drishti dan abhyantare gela lokere purna hoilakam. After speaking, the Lord entered his room after glancing auspiciously upon the people out of his mercy. In this way, the desires of the people were completely fulfilled. So this reference, you wanted to cover yourself at home, but outside you expose yourself, is the opposite of normally, obviously, what happens. Especially a lady, if she's in her house, she will go along as normal, but when she goes outside sometimes, well, they're sorry, she'll cover her head. Yes, out of chastity. But Srinivas says, so inside your house, you cover yourself, and outside you're exposed. What kind of behavior is this? And then he says, it's as if the sun after rising wants to hide itself. So then Mahaprabhu of course, Srinivas Acharya, Srivas Thakur is, Srinivas refers to Srivas Thakur. Of course, he's completely correct. But Mahaprabhu, he's saying, why are you chastising us for glorifying you? You're the Lord himself. But Mahaprabhu says, you're all joking, you're all joining together and joking just to humiliate me. Mahaprabhu likes it. It's like saying, okay, like that. That's like more or less what he's saying is, okay. Thus speaking, the Lord entered his room after glancing auspiciously upon the people. Out of his mercy, in this way, the desires of the people were completely fulfilled. Raghunath Das, Nityananda Pashigela, Chiradadi Mahotsava Tahai Korila. At this time, Raghunath Das approached Sri Nityananda Prabhu and, according to his order, prepared a feast and distributed prasadam composed of chira, which is called chip rice, and curd. Actually, they call it chip rice, but it's not chip rice, it's rice flakes. Chira is rice flakes. Just like corn flakes, they're rice flakes. And chira is like rice flakes. So there's a special preparation in Bengal where chira is mixed with yogurt and sometimes with sandesh and mango. It is a very palatable food offered to the deity and then distributed to the public. Raghunath Das Goswami, who was a householder at this time, met Nityananda Prabhu. According to his advice, he executed this festival of Dadi Chira Prasad. That was the Chir Doi Mahotsav. That's in Panihati, where it's in Bengal. And he approaches Nityananda Prabhu because Raghunath Das was from a very rich family, and he always tried to run away from his family. He even tried to run away from his family and go meet Mahaprabhu. But his father would send men, they would always catch him and bring him back. They were a rich family. So they're devotees of Mahaprabhu, but they don't want their own son to become a renunciant and join Mahaprabhu. And I see that all the time, especially with ladies in Bengal, that I'd see that the father was a devotee and would come to the temple, but he would be very upset if his daughter would become a devotee or if she wanted to join with the devotees. Many rich people were like that. They didn't want their son or daughter to be a devotee, but they were themselves devotees. They didn't want their son or daughter to run off with the devotees. So Raghunath was always trying to do that. And then Raghunath's mother said, well, why don't you just chain him up? And she's serious. And Raghunath Das's father said, he should, because they're like billionaires. Raghunath Das's father, he says, his name is, their last name is Majumdar. They're Govardhan and Hiranya Majumdar. And his father says he should already be chained up because he has a very beautiful wife and he has more money than anybody could ever spend in this lifetime. This should be enough to chain up anybody. But it's not. He's a madman, and he's a madman for Mahaprabhu. So what can you possibly do to control a madman like that? So, and of course, he's correct, and eventually Raghunath Das runs off and he becomes great renunciate, one of the 6 Goswamis with Mahaprabhu. But, first he wants Nityananda's blessings to be successful in running off. So he organizes in Panihati where he organizes a festival under Nityananda Prabhu says, make a festival for me and all the devotees. So they make a festival for thousands and thousands of people, and people come from other places and they're serving them this Chir Doi festival. And that was really, after that he got Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, and soon he was successful in leaving home. But so all this will be described later. This is just a resume. Tara Agyaloya Gela Prabhu Chanane Prabhu Tare Samarpila Swarup Herastani. Later, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami left home and took shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. At that time, the Lord received him and placed him under the care of Swarup Damodar for spiritual enlightenment. He's already enlightenment, but he enlightened him, but Mahaprabhu placed him under Swarup Damodar to be in Mahaprabhu's intimate association, because Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy are constantly with Mahaprabhu, and now Raghunath Das Goswami. Brahmananda, Bharatira, Guchaila, Charambar, Madhya-lila, Koila, Chai, Batsar. Later, Mahaprabhu stopped Brahmananda Bharati's habit of wearing deerskin. The Lord thus enjoyed his pastimes continuously for 6 years, experiencing varieties of transcendental bliss. So one time, Brahmananda Bharati, whom Mahaprabhu accepted as like Guru Varga, as a godbrother of his spiritual master, he gave honor to him, and that he came there, Brahmananda Bharati, but he came there wearing a deerskin, and the devotee said, Brahmananda Bharati has arrived. Should we bring him here to see you? No, Mahaprabhu said, no, I'll go see him. But when Mahaprabhu came and saw him in a deerskin, then Mahaprabhu said, where is Brahmananda Bharati? And they said, here, right in front of you. And he said, no, you're mistaken. This cannot be Brahmananda Bharati. Why would he ever wear a deerskin? So then Brahmananda Bharati understood, and they brought him some sannyas clothes, and then he changed his clothes. But when he was wearing a deerskin, Mahaprabhu said, I'll go see him. And they brought him to him. Where is Brahmananda Bharati? Right here. He must be mistaken. This can't be Brahmananda Bharati. So later, Mahaprabhu stopped Brahmananda Bharati's habit of wearing deerskin. The Lord thus enjoyed his pastimes continuously for 6 years, experiencing varieties of transcendental bliss. Maybe Mahaprabhu was of that, what is that now, modern day, what is that name of those people? No furs, no animal skins. Mahaprabhu was much earlier than them. Etako hila Madhya-lila sutragan sesha dwarasha batsarara shuna subaran. I have thus given a synopsis of the Madhya-lila. Now please hear the pastimes of the Lord performed during the last 12 years. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, first chapter, summarizing the later pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And tomorrow we'll continue with the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These chapters are really giving some indication about what Mahaprabhu is doing during these years, but they're summaries. Both the first and the second chapter are summaries. Then from then on, we'll hear how after Mahaprabhu takes sannyas, what are his activities, and goes to Jagannath Puri. Okay. Oh, I said I wasn't going to play kartals in the mic. No, I could play the mridanga, but he'll do the kartals. I'll just clap my hands.
You want to play mridanga?
No. No. Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namah Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra
Ganadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Radha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan
Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan
Jai Te Vignana Shabishta Puran
Jai Vindana Shavishta Puran
Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taranas
Jai Gosai Jamui Taradas
Tasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Satsavara Paranenu Mora Panchagras
Kader Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanibas
Charana Devi Bhakta Sanivas
Janame Janame More Abilas
Janame Janame More Avilas
Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas
Jai Gosai Jave Bhaja Koilabas
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjayaman
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas
Harinam Sankirtan Kore Narotamadas
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Hare
Nitai Gora Hari Bo Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Juki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Vishvabaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Lalita Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol.